This is an early 2011 15-inch MacBook Pro. And thanks to a little clever eBay trickery, I was able to build this into quite an amazing machine. So to start off, eBay can be a blessing and a curse. So a lot of people, especially on the Mac market, tend to think that their computers are worth more than they are. If you go right now and look up 2011 MacBook Pro 15-inch, you will see a lot of computers in the $500, $600, even $700 range. Now, this is a 6-year-old computer with a known graphics card defect. Why in the world are they going for this much money? Now, I needed to get a pretty inexpensive 15-inch MacBook Pro, and the unibody, the 2011 era, is certainly cheaper than any of the other Retinas, and I didn't want to mess with a Core 2 Duo. So what I did was I went into a little bit of the dark side of eBay, by which of course I mean the 4 parts listings. Now these can be a little bit perilous. Sometimes people will give you water damaged crap that's completely dead and try to give you a price of like $250, $400, and it's like really, the only thing this is good for is maybe a case and the screen, and that's it, and you want $400 for that? Give me a break. So all of those are a little overpriced. When I say a little, I mean crazy overpriced, but there is one type of 4 parts listing that I do recommend you take a look at, and that is the flashing folder 4 parts, basically. So what exactly does that mean? Well, a flashing folder error is a really important error for a MacBook Pro, or any Mac for that matter. What it basically means is that you're not able to boot, it cannot find an operating system. Now, in 99% of cases, that means your hard drive has gone bad. But if the computer is able to get to the point where a flashing folder is shown, that means that the rest of the computer, the logic board, the RAM, all of the stuff that's really important works, because otherwise the computer would not have been able to post and search for an operating system. So basically the flashing folder guarantees that you have a functioning logic board and that all you need to do is a simple hard drive replacement. With that in mind, you also want to find a flashing folder MacBook Pro from someone who doesn't exactly know that that's what it means. So I bought this 2011 MacBook Pro from Smartphone Exchange. Clearly not someone who is well versed in the minutia of MacBook Pros. As such, this 2011 MacBook Pro was listed for $300. That's a pretty good deal, considering that the only thing that was wrong with this, was a dead hard drive. It came with RAM, battery, everything. The only other problem was I didn't actually know it was a 2011. I only knew that it was a 2.3 gigahertz with 4 gigabytes of RAM and a broken 750 gigabyte hard drive. Now, when it arrived, I was able to discern that this was a 2011, because the 2012 also has a 2.3 gigahertz i7. So I was a little confused about which one it would be, but I was actually kind of glad that this turned out to be a 2011, because this thing has been upgraded to the max. This is the top tier model. They spent an extra $150 on the very good, I should add, high-res anti-glare display, which I love. They also spent an extra $250 getting that 2.3 gigahertz i7. The normal model only has a 2.2. So this is a very upgraded MacBook Pro, but I wasn't done yet. I decided to make this the ultimate MacBook Pro. So I put in a 120 gigabyte SSD. I also took out the CD drive and put in a 1 terabyte Seagate Barracuda hard drive, and I upgraded the RAM to 16 gigabytes. So the specs of this computer are as follows: a 2.3 gigahertz quad-core Sandy Bridge Core i7, 16 gigabytes of 1333 megahertz DDR3 RAM, an AMD Radeon HD 6750M with 1 gigabyte of VRAM, and for storage, a 1.1 terabyte Fusion drive. Now the Fusion drive, I should add, is called that because I took the SSD and the hard drive and basically created a RAID array when I was installing Mac OS, which forms a fusion drive where the operating system is on the SSD for quick boot, but it shows up as one logical volume, so you don't have to store everything on separate hard disks. So what could you do with this computer? Well, Photoshop and Final Cut Pro, which are the main uses that I needed this computer for, are a breeze. They are really, really good on this computer, and the high-res display makes everything look really, really crisp and sharp. Now, as far as pricing, this computer was $300. I spent $50 on the hard drive and $8 on the adapter thing that you need to put that hard drive in place of the CD drive. I already had the 16 gigabytes of RAM and the 120 gig SSD, so all of those specs and all of this computer cost me a grand total of $358, which is a really, really spanking good deal. Overall, I am really, really pleased with this computer. The only thing that I really want to change is the thermal architecture for this computer, because the unibody MacBook Pros run really, really hot. So I'm going to do a follow-up video to this where I'm going to reapply the thermal paste, and oh boy, that's going to be fun. So thank you for watching. This was kind of a short video. I recommend absolutely 100% that if you are searching for a cheap MacBook Pro, try to find a flashing folder one and upgrade the hard drive. It's such a good method, and it'll save you probably $200. Make sure to leave a like down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.